Okay, now that we're under the hood, you'll actually see
Do you want a step stool?
now look. Are you calling me short?
I'm not calling you short.
Are you calling me short?
No, you're
Okay.
calling to me. I'm just asking if you wanted a step stool.
Actually, I need something for the tire.
Yeah, because you're gonna ruin your pants again.
Damn it. Fuck. Damn you, tire. Hi, welcome to 151 Garage. I'm Sean.
I'm Jill.
And today we're going to go through a video, or talk about a video we did a little while ago. It was a couple weeks ago, I think it was. It was the truth about the aux panel. Now, before anybody states, yes, you can add the aux switches, it's not as easy as that. And I've stated that before because I've had a bunch of people comment on other videos or the Instagram themselves, or message me on the webpage we have, 151.com. Sorry, shameless plug for our channel or our webpage. It's not as easy as just throwing in the aux switches. Now, there's a gentleman by the name of Rusty's Bronco, who's on Bronco G6 or Bronco 6G, who's actually working on it. Now, he has come up with a solution to actually fit the panel in there. It consists of changing the harness that goes from the left side to the right side of the header, and it has two plugs. Wire the whole thing in, and then you have to buy the whole unit that goes inside with the aux panel. You can't, or the aux switches. You can't just buy the aux switches because you get just the aux switches. You can't, yeah, that's it. So you're gonna have to buy the entire unit. And we'll show you just what we're talking about when we get in there. But before you do this, and before you say, I told you so, I never said you couldn't. I never said you couldn't do it. It also said that you could, depends on how much you wanted to put into it.
Money and time wise.
Here's the thing that you don't know, that people don't really realize and they don't catch. And I hope to God people catch this before they actually go through the money of putting it in there. There is no, and I repeat, there is no plugs to actually put your fuses in. And I'll show that because we're gonna take the fuse box apart to help Rusty's Bronco to figure out what he needs to do to get to the next step. Now, once he does that, and I try to help him out, or we try to help him out, and he is able to get that, we will do the whole thing as a step-by-step process to replace everything, as long as it's not rewire the entire car. Because right now, if you go and change those aux switches, all you have is
pretty little lights that cost you a fortune. And that setup isn't cheap. That setup is almost
$700.
I want to say about $800 for everything.
$800 for the switches and the harness right now. So that's right now $800 for the switches and the harness.
That's not including labor.
That's not including anything under there, and that right there is going to be the trick. And I'll show you what I'm talking about when I pull a fuse out. There is no spade connectors to actually plug the fuses in those locations, which means either there's a way to put the spade connectors in, or you're gonna have to solder them, or you're gonna have to replace the entire fuse box or the entire harness, because we don't know how the fuse box is actually put together, whether it's soldered or just clip-in. Most likely it's soldered. So if it is, you're gonna have to rewire your entire front of your car, which is worst case scenario.
Yeah, but if y'all have a schematics or a site that we can go to for references, let us know.
Yeah, and this is a shout out for anybody else who has the ability to look at this or see any kind of extra data. Please help us out, help everybody out by maybe come up with solutions. Now, I'm gonna take my car apart, minimal, to see just what we see. I'm not gonna rip it apart completely, because again, I do have to drive this, but there aren't a lot of people that are willing or brave stupid, however you want to call it, enough to actually take apart the car. Whichever one of those, we'll see when we put it back together and if it works. So,
and I don't know, well, because I work in the business that I do, I don't know for sure if you take like a VIN number for a vehicle that actually has the auxiliary switches, if you can take that fuse box and integrate it into something that does not, after you put the auxiliary switches in, I don't know if that works.
yeah.
So that is another avenue to explore. I just don't know if it works. That's the only thing.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll go in there. Also, if you guys, want to give a shout out to Rusty's Bronco, leave a comment down below. Thanks for trying this out. Thanks for getting to this point.
And it was our videos that helped him get to that point.
Yeah, he gave a shout out to us because he used our video to actually pull all the panels out. So again, thank you, Rusty, for
the shout out.
And hopefully, a lot of people appreciate what you've done so far, and we'll try to help you out get as far as we can with this. So we'll go ahead and switch you over to a handheld, and we'll be right back. Okay, before we start, this right here, this panel is what you're going to have to replace. Now it's this whole ring right here, which includes the lights, the little speakers, the sunglass holder. You're going to have to replace this piece right here. You're also going to have to change the wiring harness that runs from this location all the way up, across the top, and all the way down the other side, which means you're going to have to remove every panel along this, which includes these panels on the side. Do remember your airbags are inside this, so be very careful. Now, let's go to...
I already got the top off.
Okay. Now that we have the fuse box top off of it, what we're going to do is we're going to pull one of the fuses, and I'll tell you or show you what we're talking about. There's no connections or no internals for it. So, hold that. As you can see, right there, there is internals for a fuse. Right next to it, there are none. And that's one of the locations, this location right here is one of the locations for the aux switches. So let me see that again. Drop it down in there, it's nothing. So for the people who say that you can add them in there, yeah, you can add the aux switches. What good is that going to do you when you have no connections or no fuses in the locations that require power for the aux switches?
You get pretty lights.
Yeah, you get pretty lights, Christmas lights, all year round. All year round. So what we're going to do right now is we're actually going to take this apart as much as we can
and pretend like you're doing something important.
Yeah. We're going to take this apart, and we're going to take lots of pictures of all the fuses, because what we have to do first is remove all the fuses before we do so. So I'm going to take a ton of pictures. I have a box in the back that I'm going to put all the fuses in separately.
You want to disconnect your battery too.
Absolutely. We are going to disconnect the battery first. I should have said that. But after we get the fuses out, we're going to remove these 3 bolts and this right here and see if we can lift just this top off to open up the area underneath here and see just how those spade connectors are connected. So we'll go ahead and go to that. I will start to do it. She'll film and I'll kind of rush through it all.
Grab my step stool because I'm too short.
Been telling you that for years, but you don't listen. You're 5'10", you're not short.
I'm too short.
You're 5'10", you're not short. Okay.
But look at this aerial view that I'm giving our viewers. It's great.
Yes, it is great. Oh, fuck. What am I doing with that?
Now we suggest that you do like an overhead shot of the whole thing and then do what he's doing and do each section, like the section here, the next section over, and the section over there.
Yeah, that way you can actually look and see where it is. As you put everything back together, you're gonna start wondering where things are. It's nice having color photos because guess what? You can tell what color they are by the fuses. Where in the other one, the manual, it's just black and white photos with the numbers on it. Can you read? Yeah, but it's real quick reference to actually look at the colors and find out what they are.
Now we did buy one of these little fuse pull thingies.
They're worthless.
It doesn't work. So don't even bother wasting your money on getting a generic fuse puller from AutoZone.
Yeah, we bought that from AutoZone. It doesn't work. Just get a pair of these. I put some tape on it just to protect the fuses themselves, and also don't mash them down, just enough pressure to hold them in.
Yeah, be delicate with this.
So I'm just going by color at first. Maybe. There you go.
Don't drop a meter. These fuses are not cheap.
Okay, now for the fun ones. These are just regular. These are actually, I think these are easy to find. Maybe.
Yeah, you say that now. Those are like the original fuses from back in the day.
Yeah, back in the old days. Oh, the old days were the glass ones with the, if anybody remembers the glass fuses with the wire in the center, leave a comment down below.
I do.
That'll show your age. Well,
I do, because I had some of those round things in my house because it was a fuse that you screwed in, and I had the copper wire through it.
no, these are things that actually go in
I
here.
never had a car that had those before, but I am familiar with what he's talking about. I'm an old lady. You shush.
Knowing's half the battle.
Okay, G.I. Joe.
Okay, all the fuses are out. Let me get this out of the way before I knock it over and we have a cluster.
So these are what he was talking about, these little copper things.
Yeah. So I'll get this out. Pull those 3 screws out.
Looks like there's 4.
These 3. I know there's one down there too, but I'm gonna see how far this comes out with just this out. Get my glasses.
What millimeter is it?
Small. It's like 7.
Okay, so you want to use a 7mm on here, guys?
I don't suggest do this anytime soon.
No.
Because we're not sure if this is actually going to pull anything out. That's the problem. That's not coming out.
I wonder if you have to take the whole box out as an assembly.
You can't. It's wired in. So part of the problem is this is all wired in on either side. So unless someone has a solution to remove this, which I'm trying to figure out right now, is just to remove this in 3 halves. From what it says, it comes off in 3 halves. You have this piece, you have this piece, and you have the piece on the bottom. How that comes apart, I have no idea. I'm assuming it comes out with this, but as you can tell, this isn't coming out.
Just spinning?
It's just spinning, which I don't want to get to the point where it drops something down underneath it. I saw a tab over here. This does move. I can see it. I don't see you pulling this apart. These 3 screws do nothing. They don't loosen up this, they secure the stuff underneath it. I can't. Oh, there we go. Here's this. There's this section, which we'll push out of the way. Okay, got one out. Got this out. That'll drop down. Got this out. This out. Put that in my pocket. And where does this thing
No, if
go
you guys
to?
don't feel comfortable doing this, don't do it.
Oh, I suggest you don't do it at all.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to help somebody out by kind of doing what I know I can do without damaging anything. Oh, there we go. Maybe.
All right, we're back with 100% battery life.
Yeah, for about 4 minutes. Now we'll find out, as GoPro math, it's about 5 minutes of shit. Sorry. GoPro batteries suck. 100%, 3 minutes into the video, 20%. Shit. I really don't know. I don't know if you can get underneath this, because the way this is, while this looks like it's separated here, it's just because the bottom panel right here, if you can see where that's at.
Yeah.
Let me see, get something I can point with. Here you go. So this body panel, or this panel right here, basically fits into this. This is the lower half. So all this over here has to come up. I got these unclipped, but I need to figure out how to get this side unclipped. And I still think you're not gonna be able to get this out without doing a lot of major work. I'll try, but I think you're gonna have to order a whole new box to replace it. I hope I'm wrong, but right now I don't see this top panel coming off to be able to put that in there easily. I think you're gonna have to remove this completely, which means you're gonna have to remove the harness all the way through this way and all the way through that way. In fact, it goes down in there. That harness right there goes in there, and then this harness right there goes into that, which means all those wires hook up to this. How you're going to get that apart, I suspect what you're going to have to do is pull this completely out, flip it upside down, and unbolt it from the back end, or these will actually remove it once you get it out. But if I remove these completely all the way out, this whole panel might drop down, and then I'm pretty much screwed myself. So
Well,
there's a couple clips here. Let's see if I can.
another way is that we would do it in the body shop. I don't recommend doing this, but we would take the fender off to get to it.
Well, you're not going to really get to the fender because there's a beam that goes right here.
That's your apron rail.
Yeah, I mean right there. You're still not going to get to it.
Yeah.
There's no way, because the only thing that's would keep actually it wouldn't do anything, because you have a support beam right here. You have the piece right here that the fender bolts in, and then you have plates this way that all this stuff bolts to. So taking this off will get you nowhere with removing that.
I'll scratch that idea then.
Yeah, I was looking at that going, yeah, you can't get it that way either.
Oh, they made it really hard.
I think that's about as far as I'm gonna go, because I have to undo all this crap under here to be able to do it. Let me take a couple pictures of it.
Oh, do you want me to take them really quick?
I got them. Just
Here.
that way I can send it to them. Sorry if they're upside down, I'll switch them around. So right now, the only way to get this out is to undo all the wiring in there. We'll put all the wiring back, verify everything works, knock on wood, plastic fender, whatever, and go from there. I just don't want to dig further. I'm not willing to take this apart. The difficulty of putting it in there, probably a 9 out of a 10. Because you will literally have to undo the harness all the way across. And most likely you're gonna have to replace the harness all the way through, which maybe only this to plugged into there, but you don't know. And you don't know how much that's gonna cost you. We're gonna put this all together. We're gonna send the photos over to him so he can view it. Hopefully this helps him put it together and figure it out. If he figures it out and it's actually a decent, you know, not a absorbent amount of money, we may do it. But I think right now the only alternative is
Do what we did before.
yeah. Check that box. I'll show you right here what box to check when you order your Bronco. That's pretty much the only way you're gonna be able to get this as an easy setup.
Yeah.
So,
Another reason why we love our red line tuning struts, because it gave us so much more
oh
room.
yeah. Shout out to Redline Tuning.
Sorry, I had to throw that out there.
Yeah, it's very nice having it there. I don't have to worry about it. We'll let her put all the fuses in and then we'll wire it up. I'll show some pictures up here right now, and some of the questions I have is the white blocks you see on either side of the bottom of the panel. I don't know if those are removable. I tried to pull on them without ripping it apart because I wasn't willing to do that just yet. And I don't know if those are just the connections, the gang connections basically, for the wire harnesses that go on the other side. that's something that they'll have to look into service and see if they can replace just the panel. So that panel may come off with just that piece, which means you'll only have to replace that little panel that's on the top, minus the harnesses. Let's hope that's the case. Hopefully Rusty figures, you know, Rusty and the guys at the shop that are helping him out use this and figure out that that's all they need. Hopefully connections underneath that are there. That's the next step we have to figure out. Once we get a panel set in place, still might not be the answer, so we'll see. Stay tuned. Continue with adding fuses and seeing if our car still works.
Do we look like the photo? We do look like the photo.
This is why we take tons of photos, so we know where everything goes and we know just how everything, you know, goes back together. Because when you have a bunch of fuses and nowhere to figure out where they go, you're kind of screwed yourself. So.
Yeah.
Four that are left. Four that are left, and then we'll check and see if everything works. See if it starts first. Well, we need to hook up the battery and stuff. I'll do that.
Oh yeah.
Jill doesn't like messing with the battery itself.
I won't touch a battery. Sorry.
It's okay.
That's one thing I will not play with. I'll play with everything else, but I will not touch a battery.
It's just because it's cold. Vehicle's on. Doors ajar, okay. Hood is ajar, okay. Park switch release, vehicle's on. Config, oh, yeah, that's just the regular menu. Let's see.
Okay, so we don't have any codes. That's good.
Roll pitch, okay. Added. There you go. Yep.
Okay, so all that is the hood and the hood and I don't know what that is.
Here, close the door.
Yeah. It's so small. So all the lights we have right now are the hood is open and the door is ajar. That's it. For obvious reasons. The hood's open and the door's ajar. And the brake's on. So no codes, no faults, no weird whatever. Everything works.
Yay, we
AC
didn't screw
works.
anything up.
So let me start.
What did we learn?
You can't just add the aux switches and you're good. It's a lot more than that. Now, as we noted before, we are going to send this or post this on YouTube so that way everybody can look at it and maybe they can assist in trying to figure out what needs to happen next. Rusty's Bronco figured out the aux switch, which absolutely wonderful. That's perfect. I did not know that you could just replace that harness. Perfect. Also, you have to replace that whole panel as I showed, but that only gets you halfway there. It gets you a nice pretty bunch of switches in the top that actually change color. That's about it. They
don't do anything. They don't function.
Yeah, they don't function.
They're just there for looks.
They light up and change, but that's about it. There's no function to them at the moment. Hopefully what I did and the pictures I got, which I'll post on here and I'll send them those pictures as well, they can figure out what needs to be done, whether they need to change the whole harness or just the top. Now, like I stated before, there's three white boxes underneath the top panel that I removed. One of them comes out automatically because when you unbolt it, it drops down because it doesn't go anywhere. It's secured to the bottom of the fuse panel or the fuse box. The other two are the wires going in from one side and to the other.
Side.
Now, what we're thinking is you can remove both those white blocks. They're basically just wire connections, just a whole junction box that connects to the bottom of where those plugs are. Hopefully that's it. Hopefully, if you change the top portion with the ones that are needed, all the rest of the wiring is in there.
I don't know
Yeah.
how it's sold. I don't know if it's going to be an assembly, like the entire fuse box, which I'm pretty much 90% sure that's the way it's going to come. I do not think you can buy separate components. Fuses, yes. As far as the rest of it, that's going to be a very slim chance that you're going to find that you're going to have to buy a box.
Yeah, and
like I said, I don't even know if that's going to work.
Stay tuned for here. We are gonna
We're going to investigate it some more.
Yeah, we're gonna inform you guys what we found out. We're gonna send to him, and we're gonna talk back and forth to see what we need to do next. We may end up tearing this apart one more time, just off camera, to verify later on. Not now, but later on, we'll tear it apart again to see if those blocks come out. I'm not fully confident in pulling those fuse blocks out because that completely shuts out my Bronco whatsoever. If anybody's willing to do that, go right ahead. Let us know what you find out.
Yeah.
He does have a couple people that are helping him out that might know a little bit more. They do work at the Ford dealership,
yeah.
And they have access to a lot more stuff than we do.
Yeah, they have an access to a database called All Data, and you can get it, but it's not cheap. But it'll have a wealth of information for a number of cars.
And when you talk cheap, it's $190 plus a month to be able to use it. So
or about $2,300 a year to use it.
We're not going to do that.
No.
$20 for ForeScan was enough. $120 a month for whatever. Oh, this is 3 years for ForeScan for $20. Why can't they do that?
But that is what the dealerships use, and it's pretty much every single dealership in the service department, and sometimes the collision side of it will use the All Data. And because they actually have diagrams and stuff like that, better exploded views and everything, and that will tell you specifically what's going on per vehicle. I never used it, but the service department at any dealership should have it.
Now, we do have a Bronco Badlands coming out that is supposed to be here sometime this week, maybe. Knock on
it's stuck down in Miami at a
It's stuck in Miami. But the point is, we have another vehicle that is set with those switches.
Right.
We're going to see if
there's a difference between the box.
Via VIN number, if there's a difference between this box that doesn't have the aux switches and the other one who does. Now we're going to contact the people we know and see if there's a different cost, because there should be. If one has the aux switches and has more wiring, you should be able to do it.
Now I do want to point out, just because I have a VIN number for our Badlands right now, does not mean I can start looking up parts or have my dealership
it has to be
look
here.
at it, because it has to be into the system for their computers to pull the information. Just giving them a VIN number for a random vehicle doesn't always work, so just keep that in mind, because I already tried that route.
And we've tried that before, and it doesn't show up in their system yet because it hasn't shown up to a dealership for them to put it in a system. It's stuck in Miami for the last 35 plus days. If anybody who works at the rail center down in Miami, if you see a Cactus Gary Bronco, please pull it out, put it on the next truck. I'd love you.
Well, the other one's stuck up in Ice Mountain.
That's
in
Ice
Michigan.
Mountain. Yeah, Ice Mountain in Michigan. So, Dirt Mountain 2.0.
It's gonna be Mud Hill pretty soon.
Oh, shit. Hopefully it's not full of snow. So don't ask. Anyways, I hope you guys find this helpful. Rusty, thank you for what you've done so far. Hopefully what we've done will help you out and find the next thing. Again, please give a shout out and a thank you to Rusty for all the information that he's done and what steps he's gone through to actually get us to this point. That's wonderful. And also the people that he worked with to get this. So again, thank you very much. And as soon as we find out more, we'll let you know. And if we find out it's just those 3 components and they're fairly cheap, I'll do a step-by-step 100% what you need to do to actually replace everything.
If it's not, we'll definitely let you know if you need to change the entire thing.
So again, you know, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to find more about this, especially if you forgot to hit that 195 check mark. And I'll link that again right here over the whole picture to show you which box to check.
We're going to keep pushing that 195 because that's going to save you so much hassle.
Don't
not do this.
Don't cheap out. $195 isn't that much. I guarantee you'll thank yourself later. We just happened to get this one. It wasn't one that we ordered. We would order it with us. With that, the other 2 are ordered with that. But this, we figured, you know, what the hell? We'll just change the switch out. Not that easy.
Nope.
But
it's a great learning tool for y'all. So
yeah,
that's why
and we're trying to help out. We are going to tear apart it multiple times. You know, try to help out people who are in situations where they want to do it. So again, like I said, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Share the video.
Stay tuned for more info, and share the video wherever, especially if you want to add switches or know people who've bought the switches to put in there so far.
Follow us on Instagram and check out our website, www.151garage.com. Thank you.
Shameless plug. Okay, see you later.
Bye.